Welcome back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt, joined by Mary Katharine Ham, host of Getting Hammered. Hello, Mary Katharine. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good, the happiest podcaster in the world. Mary Katharine, you are an expert on virtue signaling, so I want to run something past you. You are an expert on virtue signaling, don't you think?
I mean, I watch a lot of people do it frequently,
I,
so
I,
yeah.
I listen to you and Vic often dissect it. Well, this weekend, Elon Musk announced he was going to sue Jamal Bowman for calling him a Nazi. And I pointed out on X, people are going to learn you can defame a public figure, and Nazi is pretty defamatory. Lois Romano, formerly of the Washington Post, formerly my colleague, though I don't know her, said, Discovery is going to be interesting. To which I said, are you suggesting that CNN knew what Bowman was going to say? Because that would implicate them. She said, oh, no, I didn't mean that. And it got on from there, so that she finally told me not to put words in her mouth. She was actually suggesting that Musk was a Nazi. That's what she was suggesting. Do you think people have any idea what they're doing when they say that?
No, I don't. I think, look, we with good reason have a lot of leeway with free speech, and that's how we like it. But there are things that people can go after you for, and particularly when you have a person, when you're in a place where you're doing something on a platform like CNN, and you're talking about a person who has basically endless resources to pursue something like that. Nazi is not the one I would throw. I would be careful.
And if I were then going to comment on it, I would not leave any doubt about my not believing he was a Nazi, instead of intimating Discovery will be interesting. And then getting all huffy when I called her out on it. I just think X has become the domain of the people who want to say things without saying things. And have you noticed this in our culture? That people want to say things without actually saying what they mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think this might be part of the downside of the policing of speech that the left has done for a long time, is that people kind of want to like passive aggressive everything and not be straight about what they're saying, because in their circles, frankly, more than right-leaning circles, they're used to being told, well, you didn't say that the right way, and you didn't say that the right way, and so now you have to shut up and lose your job. We're in a new vibe now since the election of Trump, and I think that I admire people who are sometimes better than I am at just saying, no, this is the thing I'm saying. This is the thing I'm saying. I don't care if you dislike it.
Let me be blunt with you. Now I want to switch to a couple of quick talk. You change tires. I do not. I don't consider that an assault on my masculinity, because I can't change a tire. How many men do you think can actually change a tire?
I don't know what the percentage would be these days. Where I come from, it would be nearly 100%. But that, like, the South is a particularly like tinkering on cars kind of place where everybody learned from their dad in the garage. Although I would say the younger generation than I, certainly fewer than in my generation or one generation older. Like, you're probably getting down to the 50%.
When I heard you talking about getting up into the engine because there wasn't an air conditioning unit in the car and you had space to work, I thought, this girl is from a different planet than Ohio, because I don't get down there. When did you do said thing?
Oh, this is maybe, yeah, just a cultural difference. I would bet that Guy Benson does not have the same experience. I don't know. I grew up with a bunch of my dad who liked cars, and a bunch of peers in high school, dudes who liked to wrench on a car in the afternoon in their spare time. And I learned to do a tire for safety reasons, but I learned to change my oil because I was a cheapskate, and I thought it was interesting. And yes, there was no air conditioning in my Honda, which made it very easy to change the oil because you could get in there very easily.
Mary Katharine Ham, I'm obscuring the number because I don't want to. This is called a AAA card. All right, I have been a member of AAA since I was born. I think I've been a member since 1990. Before that, I was a member on my parents' card. Do you not own a AAA card? That's issued at birth in Ohio.
Right now, I do not have one. I have had one in the past, and I think eventually I was like, of an income level that I was buying that membership, and my parents might have provided it at some point. But for the quick and easy stuff, I did that.
Who jumps your batteries? AAA comes to my house when my battery's dead. Who does that for you?
Oh, no, I do that with my husband's car, or he does it for me.
You are from a different planet than I am. All right, now I want to talk to you about Harry Sisson. I really did not know until I listened to Getting Hammered that he was a thing. I saw him on a couple of videos, but I thought he was kind of a bit odd. Is he really an influencer?
Yeah, he has a lot of followers, and he was the attempt of the left and the Democratic Party to boost Kamala and Biden to young people via TikTok. He sort of became this leading voice on that front. And look, he was very hacky in the way that many influencers are, just not really dealing with policy or anything, but just sort of cheerleading for this person. That is a role that one can take in the political world, and he gained a lot of followers taking that role. Not very convincing, because he's like the one guy.
No,
on Earth
I
who's
have a
like,
theory about this, is that the
fine.
influencers of today are the child actors of 30 years ago. It does not end well to be an influencer at 18 to 30. What do you make of my theory?
I think that's correct. And I tell my children that because I never had social media until I was a grown person with a very full sense of self. And it is very dangerous to be famous, rich, or put all your validation in other people's, particularly random people online, when you are a young and developing person. So
Right.
that's
Last
why
question, which is going to carry us into the break, so people are going to have to listen to YouTube to get your answer. Foote versus Ludlow School Committee. An 11-year-old girl goes to school. The librarian has all the 11-year-olds do a bio. All of a sudden, on her school computer, LGBTQ stuff stops to pop up. She confides in her teacher that she's attracted to girls. The teacher calls the mom. The mom tells the school. The dad tells the school, we'll handle this. None of your business. We're doing all this. And the school proceeds to secretly adopt a protocol so that she can change her name at school, and they go along with their preferences at school, and they don't tell the parents. Give me your initial reaction before we go to the break. Have you heard of this case?
It's horrifying. It's horrifying. As a parent, you just want to be parenting your child, and schools and guidance counselors and librarians are not in charge of that, and they think they should be. And I view many of them, certainly if my kids were in the public school system, with some measure of suspicion for that reason.
Now I'm going to give you the worst part of Foote versus Ludlow School Committee after I go to break with Mary Katharine Ham. If you want to hear it in America, you got to go to my YouTube channel. Stay tuned. I am back with Mary Katharine Ham with the worst part of the Foote versus Ludlow School Committee decision. Mary Katharine, I have a 45-page opinion in my hand where the First Circuit Court of Appeals for the United States, that's they cover Massachusetts and Rhode Island and Maine and I believe Puerto Rico, and I'm missing one of the New England states, New Hampshire. And 3-judge panel per curia, meaning they wouldn't sign it. They agreed with the district court, and they dismissed the parents' suit, and they went on to say that educators have a right to do what they did. And it's 2 Biden judges and an Obama judge, and they wouldn't sign it. Do you think the Supreme Court should take it, will take it, and what will they do with it?
Well, it's interesting because the Supreme Court, other than this most recent one on gender transition that they took, has not heard or taken a bunch of parental rights cases. The big one is Troxel that they took in 1998, I believe, maybe decided.
Yeah, it's a grandparent case. Yeah.
Right, but as far as parental rights big cases, they haven't taken a ton. So I would like to hear what they think, and I would like to have some clear lines about exactly what school officials can do.
You know, there are 2 cases.
More loco than we need.
I've been teaching this forever. There are 2 cases called Meyer and Pierce. They're each 100 years old. This is mutiny. The First Circuit is engaged in judicial mutiny. They ignore Troxel, they ignore the Meyer, they ignore the Pierce, and they make stuff up. Do you think the resistance has gone into robes?
I mean, this very much concerns me because when the court is fairly clear, as we hear liberals lecture Trump all the time, you got to listen to the courts. Well, those courts have to listen to the courts and the precedent as well to some extent, right? You can't just be making stuff up and throwing it in these opinions. So this concerns me very much. I think it's a new frontier and a very dangerous one for parents.
And I think it's going to be one on which the Republicans can make a lot of hay if they side with parents, because I think this is a 90-10, not even an 80-20 issue. Yeah. I think parents control their children. Isn't that deeply, 30 seconds, isn't that in our DNA, parents control their children?
Yeah, I mean, it's all over Troxel and those other cases that this began at the beginning of humanity, is that parents have control over the raising of their minor children. It's simply the way that it is.
It is, and I hope the Supreme Court gets to it. Be well, Mary Catherine. Go getting hammered and learn how to change a tire and get up under there when there's no air conditioning. Gosh, that was weird. But Mary Catherine, we love you anyway. Stay tuned.